Good morning, my friends. My name is Melissa from Melissa's Struggling Walk with Jesus. I am here using the Amplified Holy Bible and the Navigator's Bible reading plan to share the Word of God with you. I am on month 3, reading 8D, and I'm going to be reading Numbers chapter 18 through 20 today. So chapter 18 started out with the duties of Levites, and it says, "So the Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons and your father's household, family, with you shall bear the guilt in connection with the sanctuary. That is, through your service as priests, you will atone for the offenses which the people unknowingly commit when brought into contact with the manifestation of God's presence. And you and your sons with you shall bear the guilt in connection with your priesthood. That is, your own unintentional offenses. But bring with you also your brothers, the tribe of Levi, the tribe of your father, ancestor, so that they may join with you and serve you as assistants. While you and your sons with you are before the tent of the testimony, the holy place where only priests may go, and the most holy place which only the high priest may enter. And the Levites shall attend to your duty as assistants, and to the duties of all the tent, the tabernacle. Only they shall not approach the articles of the sanctuary and the altar, or both they and you will die. They shall join you and attend to the duties of the tent of meeting, all the service of the tent, and no stranger, no layman, anyone who is not a Levite, may approach you and your sons. So you shall attend to the duties of the sanctuary and the duties of the altar of burnt offering and the altar of incense, so that there will no longer be a wrath on the Israelites, as with Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Check out Numbers chapter 16, verses 42 through 50. Verse 6, "Behold, I myself have taken your fellow Levites from among the sons of Israel. They are a gift to you, given and dedicated to the Lord, to do the service for the tent of meeting, tabernacle. Therefore you and your sons with you shall attend to your priesthood for everything concerning the altar of burnt offering and the altar of incense, and of the Holy of Holies within the veil, and you are to serve. I am giving you the priesthood as a bestowed service. But the stranger, outsider, layman, who approaches shall be put to death." Check out Exodus chapter 40, verses 18, verse 20, and verse 26. All right, so Numbers chapter 18, starting with verse 8. The title is the priest's portion, and it says, "Then the Lord spoke to Aaron, Now behold, I, the Lord, have entrusted you with my heave offering, even all the holy gifts of the Israelites. I have given them to you as a portion, and to your sons as a continual allotment." Check out Leviticus chapter 7, verse 35. Verse 9. "This shall be yours of the most holy things, reserved from the fire, every offering of the people, every grain offering and sin offering and guilt offering, which they shall render and give to me, shall be most holy for you and for your sons. You shall eat it as the most holy thing. Every male of your family shall eat it. It shall be holy to you." Check out Leviticus chapter 22, verses 10 through 16. Verse 11. "This also is yours, the heave offering of their guilt, including all the wave offerings of the Israelites. I have given them to you and to your sons and to your daughters with you as a continual allotment. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. all the best of the fresh olive oil, and all the best of the new wine and of the grain, the first fruits of those which they give to the Lord, I give them to you. The first ripe fruits of all that is in the land, which they bring to the Lord, shall be yours. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. Every devoted thing in Israel, everything that has been promised to the Lord with an oath, shall be yours. Every firstborn of the womb of all flesh, whether it is man or animal, which they bring to the Lord, shall be yours. Nevertheless, the firstborn of man you shall most certainly redeem, and the firstborn of unclean animals you shall redeem. And their redemption price, from a month old you shall redeem, according to your valuation for the fixed price of 5 shekels in silver, in accordance with the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs. But the firstborn of a cow, or of a sheep, or of a goat, you shall not redeem. They are holy and belong to the Lord. You shall sprinkle their blood on the altar, and shall offer up their fat in smoke as an offering by fire, for a sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord. Their meat shall be yours, like the breast of a wave offering, and like the right thigh. All the offerings of the holy things, which the Israelites offer to the Lord, I have given to you and to your sons and your daughters with you as a continual allotment. It is an everlasting covenant of salt that cannot be dissolved or violated before the Lord, to you and to your descendants with you. Then the Lord said to Aaron, you shall have no inheritance in the land of the Israelites, nor have any portion of land among them. I am your portion and your inheritance among the children of Israel. Behold, I have given the Levites all the tithe in Israel as an inheritance, in return for their service which they perform, the service of the tent of meeting, tabernacle. The Israelites shall never again approach the tent of meeting, the covered sanctuary, the holy place, and the holy of holies, or they who do will incur sin and die. Only the Levites shall perform the service of the tent of meeting, tabernacle, and they shall bear their iniquity. It shall be established forever throughout your generations, that the Levites shall have no inheritance of the land among the children of Israel. But the tithe of the Israelites, which they present as an offering to the Lord, I have given to the Levites as an inheritance. Therefore I have said to them, they shall have no inheritance among the children of Israel. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, moreover, you shall speak to the Levites and say to them, when you take from the Israelites the tithe which I have given to you from them as your inheritance, then you shall present an offering from it to the Lord, a tithe of the tithe paid by the people. Your offering shall be credited to you as the grain from the threshing floor, or as the full produce from the wine vat. Likewise, you shall also present an offering to the Lord from all your tithes, which you receive from the Israelites. And from it you shall give to the Lord's offering to Aaron the priest. Out of all your gifts you shall present every offering due to the Lord, from all the best of it, even the sacred pot from them. Therefore you shall say to them, when you have offered the best from it, then the rest shall be credited to the Levites as the product of the threshing floor and as the product of the wine vat. You may eat it anywhere, you and the members of your households, for it is your consumption in return for your service in the tent of meeting, tabernacle. You will bear no sin because of it when you have offered the best of it. But you shall not profane the sacred gifts of the children of Israel. or you will die because of it. So that is all of chapter 18 in Numbers. All right, verse 16 says, "And the redemption price from a month old you shall redeem according to your valuation for the fixed price of 5 shekels in silver, in accordance with the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs," where it says valuation. Since the priest is set at 5 shekels, this term is not to be understood as an ordinary appraisal, which could vary, but probably refers to the priest's estimation of whether the item qualifies for redemption. All right, verse 19 says, "All the offerings of the holy things which the Israelites offer to the Lord, I have given to you and to your sons and your daughters with you as a continual allotment. It is an everlasting covenant of salt that cannot be dissolved or violated before the Lord, to you and to your descendants with you." Where it says salt, salt was symbolic of preservation, and here permanence. All right, verse 24 says, "But the tithe of the Israelites which they present as an offering to the Lord, I have given to the Levites as an inheritance. Therefore I have said to them, they shall have no inheritance among the children of Israel." Where it says, have no inheritance. They would have homes, cities, and pasture land to use, but not to possess as a personal inheritance. All right, so that is all the extra. All right, Numbers chapter 19, it says the ordinance, the title is the ordinance of the red heifer. And it says, "Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, This is the statute of the law which the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you an unblemished red heifer, in which there is no defect, and on which a yoke has never been placed. You shall give it to Eleazar the priest, and it shall be brought outside the camp and be slaughtered in his presence. Next, Eleazar the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger, and sprinkle some of it toward the front of the tent of meeting, the tabernacle, 7 times. Then the heifer shall be burned in his sight. Its skin, its flesh, its blood, and its waste shall be burned and reduced to ashes. The priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet material and cast them into the midst of the burning heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterward come into the camp, but he shall be ceremonially unclean until evening. The one who burns the heifer shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and shall be unclean until evening. Now a man who is ceremonially clean shall collect the ashes of the heifer and deposit them outside the camp in a clean place. And the congregation of the Israelites shall keep it for water to remove impurity. It is to be used for purification from sin. The one who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. This shall be a perpetual statute to the Israelites and to the stranger who lives as a resident alien among them. The one who touches the dead body of any person shall be unclean for 7 days. That one shall purify himself from uncleanness with the water made with the ashes of the burnt heifer on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and then he will be clean. But if he does not purify himself on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, he will not be clean. Whoever touches a corpse, the body of anyone who has died, and does not purify himself, defiles the tabernacle of the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from Israel, that is, excluded from the atonement made for them, because the water for impurity was not sprinkled on him. He shall be unclean, and his uncleanness is still on him. This is the law when a man dies in a tent. Everyone who comes into the tent and everyone who is in the tent shall be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. Every open container in the tent which has no covering tied down on it is unclean. Also, anyone in the open field who touches one who has been killed with a sword, or who has died in natural causes, or a human bone, or a grave, shall be unclean for 7 days. Then for the unclean person they shall take some of the ashes of the heifer burnt for the purification from sin, and running water shall be added to them in a container. A clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it on the tent and on all the furnishings, and on the people who were there, and on the one who touched the bone, or the one who was killed, or the one who died naturally, or the grave. Then the clean person shall sprinkle the water for purification on the unclean person on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. And on the 7th day the unclean man shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be ceremonially clean at evening. But the man who is unclean and does not purify himself, that person shall be cut off from among the assembly, because he has defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water for purification has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. So it shall be a perpetual statute to them. He who sprinkles the water for impurity on another shall wash his clothes. And he who touches the water for impurity shall be unclean until evening. Furthermore, anything the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and anyone who touches it shall be ceremonially unclean until evening. All right, so that is all in Numbers chapter 19. All right, verse 6 says, "The priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet material and cast them into the midst of the burning heifer," where it says hyssop. For example, this is an aromatic plant. Verse 9 says, "Now a man who is ceremonially clean shall collect the ashes of the heifer and deposit them outside the camp in a clean place. And the congregation of the Israelites shall keep it for water to remove impurity. It is to be used for purification from sin." Where it says water to remove impurity. The purpose of the ash mixed with water was to remove the contamination from those defiled because of contact with a dead body. All right, verse 18 says, "A clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water and sprinkle it on the tent and all the furnishings, and on the people who were there, and on the one who touched the bone, or the one who was killed, or the one who died naturally, or the grave," where it says hyssop. For example, this is an aromatic plant used in bunches for sprinkling rites. So that is all the extra in chapter 19. All right, verse 20. This is the death of Miriam. And so it says, "Then the Israelites, the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the 1st month, in the 40th year after leaving Egypt. And the people lived in Kadesh. Miriam died there and was buried there. Now there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered together against Moses and Aaron. And the people contended with Moses and said, 'If only we had perished when our brothers perished in the plague before the Lord.'" Check out Numbers chapter 16, verse 49. Verse 4, "Why have you brought up the assembly of the Lord into this wilderness to die here, we and our livestock? Why have you made us come up from Egypt to bring us to this wretched place? It is not a place of grain, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, and there is no water to drink." Then Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the doorway of the tent of meeting and tabernacle, and fell on their faces before the Lord in prayer. Then the glory and brilliance of the Lord appeared to them, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying. All right. Numbers chapter 20, starting at verse 8, is the water of Meribah. And it says, "Take the rod, and you and your brother Aaron assemble the congregation and speak to the rock in front of them, so that it will pour out its water. In this way you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and let the congregation and their livestock drink fresh water." So Moses took the rod from before the Lord, just as he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly before the rock. And Moses said to them, "Listen now, you rebels. Must we bring you water out of this rock? Then Moses raised his hand in anger, and with his rod he struck the rock twice, instead of speaking to the rock as the Lord had commanded. And the water poured out abundantly, and the congregation and their livestock drank fresh water. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you have not believed and trusted me to treat me as holy in the sight of the sons of Israel, you therefore shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. Check out Psalms chapter 106, verses 32 and 33. These are the waters of Meribah, which mean contention and strife, where the sons of Israel contended with the Lord, and he showed himself holy among them. Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the hardship that has come upon us as a nation, that our fathers and ancestors went down to Egypt, and we lived there for a long time, and the Egyptians treated both us and our fathers badly. But when we cried out to the Lord for help, he heard us and sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt. Now look, we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your territory. Please let us pass through your land. We will not pass through a field or through a vineyard. We will not even drink water from a well. We will go along the king's highway, not turning off course to the right or to the left until we have passed through your territory. But the king of Edom said to him, you shall not pass through my territory, or I will come out against you with the sword. Again the Israelites said to him, we will go by the highway, the trade route, and if I and my livestock drink any of your water, then I will pay for it. Only let me pass through on foot, nothing else. But the king of Edom said, you shall not pass through my territory. And Edom came out against Israel with many people and a strong hand. Thus the king of Edom refused to give Israel passage through his territory. So Israel turned away from him. Now when they set out from Kadesh, the Israelites, the whole congregation, came to Mount Hor. All right, so Numbers chapter 20, starting with verse 23, is the death of Aaron. And it says, then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron at Mount Hor, by the border of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron will be gathered to his people in death, for he shall not enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you both rebelled against my command at the waters of Meribah. Check out Numbers chapter 20, verses 7 through 12. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son. So Aaron will be gathered to his fathers and will die there. So Moses did just as the Lord had commanded, and they went up Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. After Moses stripped Aaron of his priestly garments and put them on Eleazar his son, Aaron died there on the mountain top. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron had died, all the house of Israel wept and mourned for him for 30 days. All right, so that is all of chapter 20. All right, verse 8 says, take the rod, and you and your brother Aaron assemble the congregation and speak to the rock in front of them, so that it will pour out its water. In this way you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and let the congregation and their livestock drink fresh water. Where it says in front of them, other literature says before their eyes. All right, verse 12 says, but the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you have not believed and trusted me to treat me as holy in the sight of the sons of Israel, you therefore shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. Check out where it says, shall not bring this assembly into the land. Moses apparently allowed his anger and frustration with the Israelites to blind him to the significance of what God had instructed. Although thoroughly exasperated by the Israelites, Moses was still held accountable for his own behavior. All right, verse 14 says, Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the hardship that has come upon us as a nation. Where it says Edom. The Edomites were descendants of Esau, Jacob, Israel's twin brother. All right, verse 17 says, Please let us pass through your land. We will not pass through a field or through a vineyard. We will not even drink water from a well. We will go along the king's highway, not turning off course to the right or to the left until we have passed through your territory. Where it says King's Highway, this is the major trade route extended from the Gulf of Aqaba, the south, to Damascus in the north. All right, so that is all the extra in chapter 20. So this is all I am sharing in this video from Numbers chapters 18, 19, and 20. I hope that God is with you and that God blesses you today. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.